What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got episode 8, and man, we came off of a huge win last week against the Dolphins. Absolutely great game, and we had some performers. And I didn't really get a chance to talk a whole lot about it after the game. I just sort of went in and just ended the video, but I just wanted to touch up on a couple of things after that happened. We did, of course, see that, Garrett Bradbury is going to be out for at least 5 weeks. Mason Cole will have to be the guy. We also saw that we lost Darisaw, our young left tackle. He's going to be out for the same amount of time as Bradbury, so we are going to have a much different looking starting unit on the offensive line for the next few weeks. But game balls for last game, man. Adam Thielen, he had himself a heck of a day. I think he ended up finishing 9 catches for 200 yards. Derek Barnes had himself a big day as well. I think that was really his coming out party. We never really got the run game going with Madison or any of these guys, but overall, a tremendous victory for us. In this episode, I think we're going to end up playing a game, but I think we're going to sim up to the bye week. As you can see here, I went ahead and simmed the Bills game like I said I would, and we got another W. We won 24-6 against Buffalo, which was huge. You can see here from our standings that the Bears lost 2 in a row, and the Lions went 1-1. So now we're 1 up on the Lions, who we have this week. And we're tied with the Packers at 6-4, which makes that week, I think it's week 15, I believe, matchup that much more important. Back to the rest of our schedule for the season. We play the Lions this week, we travel to Chicago, we play the Jets again, and then we have our bye week. Now, I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead and just sim all the way up to the football team game, and I think that would be a good game for us to watch, and a good balance, right? We've already watched 3 of our regular season games. We had the Seahawks in the home opener, the Packers, and then last week, of course, the Dolphins. If we sim these 3 games, right, get to the bye week, we'll probably be healthy again, and then we have a really good slate of games to finish out the season that we could end up watching a handful of. I would like to watch the Washington football game because of Deshaun Watson, that storyline that we started. The Packers game, as long as our schedules hold up and our wins continue, is going to be huge. The Titans are always a good opponent, especially with Derrick Henry. And then, of course, we close out in Detroit at the Lions for potentially the division. Now, not from the Lions. Well, honestly, the Lions, too. The Lions are right there. They're 5-4. Us and the Packers are both 6-4. So right now, it's a toss-up, and the Bears are not far behind at 4-5. This division is up for grabs for any of the 4 teams, really, depending on how the rest of the season plays out. But as much as I think that we have a few good matchups here, I don't know if we really want to watch another 7 games. I think at least get to the bye week and then reassess and see. Maybe it doesn't even pay, right? Maybe we're already out of the running. The Packers game won't matter. The Lions game won't matter. But if it does, we have 2-3 potentially huge matchups. The football team, before I started simming, was the number 1 seed in the NFC. I'm not sure if they're still there or not. The Packers, of course, are leading the division right now. And, of course, the Lions are right on our tails. I did also go ahead and I chose the focus players. I'm hoping they work. I do know that we still have the issue where the players just aren't actually unlocking anything new. We will see. I picked 3 quarterbacks. I chose Jerry McLeod, Taylor Hopkins, and then I also did Hunter Patton because he is that more scrambler type that I was telling you guys about earlier in the season. You can see here, we're really getting somewhere with these quarterbacks. We got a lot of 80s here. I want us to get a quarterback out of this draft. I think we need to. I don't think Kellen Mond's the guy. We need to bring in some competition. So we're going heavy with the quarterbacks. And I don't think we're going to go any farther past Jamie Edwards. And if we have to pick Jamie Edwards, I feel like we're in a bad position, or maybe we just found an absolute stud we cannot pass up before him. But my hope is that we land either McLeod or Hopkins. Both of these guys are listed as top 5. If we can't land them, I feel that Hunter Patton might be the next best thing because he is a scrambler. We'll have to see. I'm hoping we get these guys to 100%. I'm hoping we do. We'll see, of course, once we sim and see if they unlock anything. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's sim this game and let's see where we end up. Oh man, we end up losing to the Lions. I was sort of scared or worried about this happening. You know, we risked the sim. And I mean, who knows? We could have lost if we watched it too. It's not like that's a dead giveaway. Like we're actually playing the game, because then I know we would have won. But we end up losing to the Lions in Minnesota, which makes weeks 18 even harder because we're on the road in Detroit, and we're gonna have to play the Chicago, and we need this win, guys. Now we're third spot because of that loss, so we really need to beat the Bears to stay afloat here and keep our division record somewhat reachable. I hate these cold opponent things when they do like the trap game type of scenario. I'm hoping that means that, we can win this game. We really desperately need to win this game. We really do. We have been getting some nice upgrades the last 2 weeks, and now Ezra Cleveland's getting one, which is awesome. He needs some work at power, because we run a finesse scheme, but we don't want our guys to not be able to block on a power situation. We still have aspirations to be able to block and run power backs and power plays and things of that nature. So we're going to go ahead and beef that up a little bit. All right, so I just took down the notes from this week for the scouting. We'll go over all of the notes in a little bit more of a bigger update, I guess, with the scouting class. Maybe we'll do that after we get to the bye week, as a little, right before we finish the season. And who knows, maybe we just sim to the rest of the season. Like if we get to the bye week and we just go on a losing streak and there's no chance of us making it, I'll take it game by game, but we're not going to just keep watching a bunch of games if it's meaningless. This was not recorded, but I did re-sign Jerron Christian. I gave him the exact offer he was looking for, that 2 years, $7.5 million. I really liked that we have a couple of young guys to fill in for our starters when they're hurt, and I don't want to lose that. And Christian seems to be a pretty balanced player, so I re-signed him. So now we have Udo and him both signed under contract. I know I mentioned it in the last video, but I just wanted to let you guys know I did in fact re-sign him to the 2-year contract. Here goes nothing. Let's go ahead and sim this one and see what happens. We lose, and we lose bad. Oh no. Well, we lost pretty bad. We lose 28-10 in Chicago. Pretty much, now we're 6-6. We're right back at the bottom of the division. The Lions have climbed to the top of the division now. That's crazy. Because of that, I'm a little weary of seeing this one. I don't think we got that breakout scenario. Dang. Nope. We didn't get the breakout. And we didn't do the cold opponent thing. I swear, the game makes a trap game. It makes it a trap game. That's unfortunate, man. And now the whole team is frustrated. Great. Well, after that tragedy, let's go ahead and look at the playoff picture. So obviously we're nowhere involved with it, but we still do have a shot at the wild card round. We still play the Packers and the Lions yet, two playoff teams, and we play Washington, who is still the number 1 seed. So there still could be some luck in the air for us. All right, so now we're sitting at 6-6. We have the Jets next. I just want to get to the bye week at this point after 2 back-to-back horrible losses. I did not see that coming, guys. I thought we'd at least go 1-1, at the very least. Man. And you hate to say it's because we simmed, but I don't know. Do we at least have a chance if we don't sim? But I also don't want to show 12 games a season. I don't want to have to play every game just to rely on the system to make a decent game, because we were better at both teams. Both teams, we were better overall wise. We were coming off of a win. They were coming off of a loss. That's unfortunate. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and I'm curious. Do we get the unlock that we were looking for? We don't. Taylor Hopkins gets it, and Hunter Patton. So things still not working. It's just random. It's random because it didn't take Mcelroy even though I picked him, but it took the other two. It doesn't even make sense why. Let's just get to the bye week, guys. Let's regroup here. And we lost to the Jets. What is happening to this team? We lost 3 in a row. I can't believe that. We just had that huge game against the Dolphins. And then we get the big game against the Bills. And then we lose to 3 teams in a row that we should have beat. The Lions, the Bears, and the Jets. Neither of these 3 teams are high overall teams. Now, the Lions, for some reason, are 8-4 in this series. I don't know how that happens. Is Cortland Sutton that much of a playmaker? I don't know. But we're in the bye week, so let's take a look. We have Darrisaw and Bradbury back, but now we have a new injury. Anybody want to take a guess at who this is before we jump in? We already lost Dalvin Cook, so I don't know who else is injury prone, but I'll give you guys a second to take a guess. And it is Martin Jefferson. Come on, guy. Now our first round pick is injured. This is just a bad season, guys. Can we mark that somewhere? This has been like a cursed season for us. Between the injuries, the untimely losses, the playbook malfunction, the salary cap. I just feel like we need to get out of this season. This thing has to go. Because it has been nothing but just beatings after beatings and negative plays and negative things after. It's just never ending at this point. Man. So let's just take a look quick here at these games that we just got destroyed in. Where has our issues been? What have been the trouble spots? We know we beat the Bills. Lions. What did we do against the Lions? So Kirk Cousins threw like crap. 76.2 passer rating, 228 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Jared Goff had even a worse day, and we somehow let them win. How does that happen? We didn't even let them off the hook on running the ball. Like, where did all of the points come from? They scored 14 in the second. We were one touchdown behind them, of course, but like, where? There wasn't a high amount of passing for either team. Rushing, it wasn't like they really took advantage of much of anything. Defensively, we applied no pressure. Not a single sack on Jared Goff, one of the worst starting quarterbacks in this series. Whitehead got an interception, though, so that's good. That's good for Antoine Whitehead. All right. I still don't even know how that happened, but anyway. And then the Bears. This one was embarrassing, and we gave up. Man, we looked to stop the run, and we gave up 150 yards rushing. How much you want to bet? Justin Fields was looking amazing. 128.3 pass rating, 3 touchdowns. We need ourselves a better quarterback, guys. These quarterbacks are just killing it. Justin Fields, Zachary Farr, he had a bad game against us, but he's been killing it all year. You know, Joe Burrow, Mac Jones was having a decent couple of games I remember seeing before. This series is starting to take a turn for these quarterbacks, and we're starting to see these young guys really step up. We did hold Montgomery to less than 100 yards, but we let him get 4 yards a carry. Justin Fields took it for 39 more. Our running game has been disastrous. I don't know if that's an offensive line issue or what. And again, defensively, did we apply any pressure? We got 3 sacks, 3.5, 4 sacks? Yeah, 4 sacks. And Roquan Smith picked us off twice. And then the Jets game, the last one. The one that we definitely should not have lost. Not a bad outing by either quarterback. Wilson had actually a really good day. 268, 3 touchdowns. Our running game, once again, didn't even hit 50 yards. Chris Godwin went off. I think he gave us problems in the preseason game too, didn't he? Defensively, we had 1 sack. Anthony Barr. Yeah, so it just seems like our run game and our defense have really been the culprits in these games. Okay, so Now that we have gone through the training, we know who's injured, who's not anymore. Let's take a look at the players for re-signing again. Look at that. Tomlinson got 1 overall boost, and now he's already asking for an extra $1 million. What a punk. I'm just kidding. We do have the ability to try to re-sign Armon Watts. He wants $4 million for 1 year? My guy, you're a 68 overall, man. What are you doing? Chris Boyd is better and younger than you at more important of a position, and he's asking for the same amount of money pretty much, except on a 2-year. So he's actually asking for much less money. What are you doing, dude? We might have to wait for the market to see if there's somebody better for a better price. That's ridiculous. Josh Metellus. I said before I would like to keep Metellus and Bynum. I don't know if I want to do it for 2 years, though, because if we find somebody, I don't want to be stuck having 3 safeties at one position. So we're going to offer him 1 year, $209. Does he take that? He does. Perfect. So we get Josh Metellus back for a 1-year deal. We're not going to bring back Breland at this point. Our defense is already horrible. I'd rather rebuild and get some new blood in. Because of the lack of linemen in this class and how I'm a little concerned about us landing one, I do think, which sucks now because... he's asking for more, but I'm going to try to just lowball him a little bit. Let's try to bring this down a tad and just see if I can give him that. Okay, so we are going to wait till the off season for him, but I would like to possibly bring him back. Tomlinson, I'm not re-signing him at that contract. We're going to wait on him too. Oh, the college players. I almost forgot all about the college prospects. All right, let's go ahead and let's dig deep into these prospects here a little bit before we move on. And if anything, now he's got 100%. I'm so confused, but I'll take it. I'm not crazy, guys. He was not 100% before, right? I'm not crazy. I swear to God, he wasn't 100%. But this is telling. This is really telling. Now it is saying that him and Hopkins aren't even top 5, which I guess sort of makes sense considering a lot of the quarterbacks come in a little bit lower of an overall than some of the other players do. You can see he's got some excellent stats, though. A for throw accuracy short and throw under pressure. B for deep and mid. C on play action, which is okay. C for also throw on the run, which is better than I expected considering he's a pocket quarterback only. And B awareness. And we already know based off of his physicals that he's going to have good throw power. Taylor Hopkins from Oklahoma. Same thing here, it looks like, for him. Except he's got A awareness. A little less throw under pressure, but better awareness, which I feel like is... And he's got A break sack. What did B? Okay, so they both have their ups and downs. So I think what it's going to come down to is who we like more. If we can land one of them, of course. So this one, he's got the never seen a window he won't throw into. So he's aggressive, which I like. I don't always like it with Cousins because he just takes the check down all the time or throws it away. Quick to throw at the slightest of pressure. Okay, so maybe he does still have the same issue. Knows when to throw the ball away. Exclusively plays from the pocket. Fast, prototypical throwing motion. I feel like I like Hopkins a little bit more. Quick to take the check down. So see, that one doesn't even have that he will throw into a window, which makes it feel like he's going to take a lot of checkdowns. Caleb Byron had a story. Actually, I'm going to go over these stories with you guys since we're looking at players. Let's go out of the top here. So, Hunter Patton was the first one to have a story. Right down here. He's now 100%. He's around 2 to 3 talents. So he might not be the guy we thought he was going to be. But it says, goes back and forth, and Patton threw the game winner. So he didn't have a huge storyline. It just said that he beat out Ryan Borden in a game, I guess it was. So it didn't really say much about the player themselves, but just said that he he played better than him. So I can think we can safely assume that Patton is going to be a better quarterback than Borden will be coming out of the draft. Jamie Edwards had one as well. Gets the chance to start for Kansas after he was waiting. And Taylor Hopkins, why did I go out of here? Taylor Hopkins also had one. His story was, won't let his team go down without a fight, masterful performance in a must-win game. Now, that's not verbatim what they said, but that is what the basically what the story said. And now we know that he's a round one talent. We don't know if he is a top end talent or if he is just round one period. But we do know that he's a good quarterback. And we know that he might be a little bit better than McLeod. But the question is McLeod maybe going to have a better dev trait? Seeing as he's the number one. Caleb Byron is the wild card here for me. Because he just had a story himself. Where was his? It says, has a couple of down weeks, but don't be put off by it. I don't know what that means. What I do know is that he has some good accuracies and some not so good ones. He's got good awareness and good throw under pressure and good break sack. Or great awareness and throw under pressure and good break sack. We don't know throw on the run. We don't know play action. We have some really tough decisions at the quarterback position to make. Running backs, I didn't look into the running backs much at all. I do have some on my favorites list for later, just in case we don't have anybody else to pick. There's a story for Perry Brock. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he hurt Charles Davis's ankles. So he must have had a crazy run at some point. And then Jerome Pruitt, who is right here, he had a story deemed uncoachable by Ole Miss. Yikes. So that must mean that he had a bad attitude, and now nobody wants to coach him, obviously. But let's just take a look at his stats here. Solid, good, decent, solid, great elite speed or acceleration, great elite change of direction, B break tackle, we know that. Good at protecting the ball, fights for the yards. He's dropped a little bit. That might be a guy that would fall to us in no man's land, and we might be able to get a steal from. Just because he's uncoachable, it doesn't mean nothing in Madden, you know? Wide receivers haven't had much love at all in the offseason stories. We had the one for Brian Judge, which just said, suffers devastating injury, missing rest of the season. So we know whatever we have on him is what we have on him. And we don't have the greatest on him, but he does have everything at least in solid to good. I would like to see his speed a little bit better. His catch and traffic is a D, though. I really don't like that. But I was proven wrong, too. You guys remember last year, I said that, and then half the receivers ended up being good anyway. Ty Torrance had himself a story a couple weeks back. Came down with a touchdown over 3 defenders and had play of the week. And this guy's the big-bodied guy that I like. He's got solid to good speed, great elite acceleration, but everything else is just sort of meh. Strength is great elite. We also don't know much about him stats-wise, because a lot of this stuff is more running back stuff. I don't like that his stamina is an F, but again, I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's got a 75 stamina, or does that mean he has like an 88 and the highest has 97? You know, I don't even know if we'll have a chance to get him, given that he's a round one projection. We're trying to get a quarterback. Ricardo Conley had a story too, but I don't even know what it means. It says that his passion is not real football, but video games. I don't know what that means in terms of the hints that they're trying to give here. And there was a linebacker who had the same exact story, which I found weird. Madden must be messing up their algorithm on what stories to push out for the draft classes. I was looking around here, and I went all the way down through the undrafted guys too. One of the guys that stood out to me when I was looking at some of these lower end guys was Deion Milner, who's a day 3 prospect. He has solid good speed, great elite strength. He has B release, which I really like, plus B break tackle, which makes me feel like he's at least going to be serviceable. Shaquille Richardson was another one, but I think his speed was a little bit down. His catching is a B, release is a D, solid good speed. Derek Wilcox, He has deep route F, but I'm not too concerned about route running. I mean, most of the receivers seem to have low route running coming into the into the league. He has solid good speed. Antoine Ross is another one that I looked at. But again, none of these guys have great elite speed, even the smaller guys. And that's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find that game-breaking speed. You know, that guy that you can just put on a 9 route and he's going to beat the guy 9 out of 10 times based off of speed. Keelan McCain, good to great. But like I said, I'm still not seeing that elite category pop up on almost anybody. So I don't know if I'm just looking in the wrong areas or if guys are just, not that fast at wide receiver this year, which, is fine. It happens. Oscar McCann, good to great speed. He's 6'3", 210. Keenan Gerrard. This is a guy I put on the list because that deep route was an A. And he had great elite speed. This is like one of the few guys, but he's on the shorter side. He's 5'11". He has B awareness, he has B spectacular catch, and D medium route. So we know this guy just goes deep, which is sort of what we're looking for. So that might not be a bad thing. We just drafted Barnes. We're not going to be taking another tight end. Plus, we just re-signed Irv Smith. I haven't had a chance to really look too much at these tackles, but I just don't know. I'm just not very confident in taking them. I'd much rather wait until we have like a more robust lineman class so that I can actually make it make sense to put a bunch of guys, put scouts there. So Joel Burrow here, he had a story as well that was just recent. It says prioritizes health and leaves the football team or leaves the school, which to me makes me feel like he might end up having a solid chance at having a dev. Again, a lot of those guys end up having that scenario. And if he does, we could possibly get him, maybe in the second round. But again, I'm still way up in the air with who is going to be where and who we're going to take where. I think we're just going to have to wing it again this year. I did look at some middle linebackers just because if there's a guy that has good coverage, I do want to make sure we take a look at them. Enrique Jenkins had himself a draft story as well. He was like the first one. It says Richmond's defense on the map and rising up draft boards. So he's been playing way above his actual skill level or what they expected him to. As you can see, he's got D zone. We had a guy come in with B zone, which was Whitehead, and he still ended up having 72 or 68 or something. So I really don't want to mess with somebody at that position if they don't have at least A or B zone coverage. Where was the guy I was looking at? There was a linebacker that I found that had really good coverage. I think it was down here. It was this guy, AJ Alexander. He's got A zone coverage and he's got B block shedding. And he's got great elite on almost everything except strength. Around 2 to 3 talent. I might end up focusing this guy to get some more stuff unlocked for him, because I really liked what I saw from from what I just showed you guys. I really liked his skills. James Ferguson just had a story as well. It says, no surprise he's turning into a talented player. Both parents former 400-meter hurdle stars. So I don't know if that means he can run fast or if he can jump high. Probably maybe both. Jumping and speed is both great elite. C zone, which I don't think is too bad, and B awareness, which is something you can't take for granted, but he is a round 1 talent. This is the prototypical corner I would like to take, 6'3", 208. But again, with us needing a quarterback, I don't want to just say we're going to draft somebody else in the first round. I haven't looked at safeties at all. Just, I do have some marked as on my favorites list so I can keep tabs on them. So let's go ahead and get past this bye week. We are now at the bottom of the division. After the loss the 3 losses we took, we're sitting at 6-7. We're 4th in our division. Chances are, if anybody makes it out of here, it's going to be 2 teams out of the North, and we're not that team. I'm a little concerned that we're not going to have a chance to even make the playoffs, even with a couple of good wins here? Because let's face it, even if we beat the Lions and the Packers, right, we're still split with them. We're only split. If we can pull off this miraculous win against Washington, we're going to play the Packer game. If we just lose 3 in a row to 3 teams that we should have beat, and then beat Washington, we are going to see this season out. That's my final stipulation. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for another offseason. We didn't really get much of one last year because of our cap situation and, everything. I want us to have a solid offseason. I love those things. So let's go ahead. Let's sim this game. And let's hope that we get what we're looking for. Okay, we did not win. we did not win. We lost to Washington. I guess I'm not surprised by that. Let's see what the schedule says. Well, how did we perform? We didn't perform as bad as I thought we would. Watson, we both went at it though. Look at that. Watson and Cousins both throwing for 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Only sacked once. The difference though is look at those completions for Watson. Did he have help in the run game and we didn't? Oh yeah, he did. 17 carries, 84 yards. Madison didn't have too bad of a day. 12 carries, 53. But then Watson, of course, had to add 30. And Dearness Johnson, who is now on the Washington football team, got 2 touchdowns. I like Dearness Johnson. Strickland didn't get anything. Thielen, 10 catches, 148 yards. Justin Jefferson gets 2 touchdowns. Decent stats, and he sacks for us. Daniil Hunter got his sack. And Eric Kendricks got his interception. Let's take a look at this playoff picture now that we're in this week. So obviously we're not in it. Neither are the Bears, who are right above us. Washington's still number 1. I think we're close enough. I think we just sim this season. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to make this one full episode of just simming to the end of the year, and then we'll do another episode of the offseason. I think that's good. Oh my gosh. We got absolutely destroyed by the Packers. Absolutely destroyed. 45-10. That's just telling me that this is not the season. This is not the season. Still got upgrades though. Derek Barnes. I think we are officially eliminated at this point. And we continue our losing streak. Now stretched to 5 games? 6 games. 6 games in a row. Man. At one point we were 6-4. After coming off a 2-game win streak, we have lost the last 6. And now both the Lions and the Packers are both at 10 wins. We are at the bottom of the division. So we're just gonna get to the offseason, and besides that, I just had a whole influx of the prospect stories. So we'll get to go over more of that stuff. Some guys that we were really looking at have gotten stories now, and it's really going to shake up what we're looking at. And some new players might have fallen onto our radar. So I'm curious to see where things take us in that regard. Try to get Irv Smith as balanced as possible, so I keep changing what I'm upgrading. Never with Daniil Hunter though. We're just always doing plus the speed rusher. And just to make things that much more difficult, we beat the Lions. And the only way I can see the reasoning for that is so that we cannot have as high of a pick as what we should have had. That's the only thing I can see. It's the only sense it makes. So it is time for the offseason. We just went through and watched our team absolutely implode, and injuries galore happened to this team. We lost our starting left tackle, our starting center. We were without Dalvin Cook all year long. Martin Jefferson got hurt. We've just had a very bad season, all surrounded by one highlight, and that was that Dolphins game. But it's time for us to get to our second offseason. We need to make some changes to this roster. So, as much as I didn't expect it to, we're going to go ahead and just get this offseason done with this video here. So let's take a look and see who is in the playoffs for our second season. Washington football team holds strong to the number 1 seed. The Packers move up to the 2nd seed. Falcons at 3. Niners at 4. Cowboys 5. Lions 6. And the Saints 7. As for the AFC, the Broncos still end up finishing as the number 1 seed behind Teddy Bridgewater. I'm a little shocked, but that's a team we're definitely going to be looking out for to see what they do in the playoffs. We have the Ravens at 2, the Titans at 3, the Jets at 4. What? The Chargers at 5, the Browns at 6, and the Dolphins squeeze in at 7. So the team the only good thing we had this whole year, and they still made the playoffs, we didn't. But looking at this now, I guess I'm not too surprised that we're sitting where we're at. You look at the NFC, we had to play Washington, we lost. We had to play Green Bay, we lost both times. We lost to the Lions. We split with the Lions. We lost, we didn't play the 49ers. But then even on the AFC side, we had to play the Jets and the Titans the last couple weeks. We beat the Dolphins. So we had ourselves a pretty stout schedule, it looks like. Still, nonetheless, we had a bad season. And now you can see here our salary cap is fixed. We're at 37.3. We can actually sign players now. That's awesome. Let's take a look at the staff moves. Did anybody lose their coach? Joe Judge out as the Giants coach. Michael Saylor out as the Raiders. They also cleaned house for all their coaches. Pete Carroll retired from the Seahawks. Mike Tomlin was fired. Did not see that coming. Our staff now. View talent tree. We have 5, 6. Our defensive coordinator is just crap. We don't have much unlocked. I'm wondering if we can... I say we try to find a new coordinator. Our defense has been horrible for 2 years. We need a new defensive coordinator. Sammy Rios is not working. We need some changes. Offensively, I think we have a pretty solid coordinator. We'll see what's available once we get to the free agents. So let's go ahead and let's fire Sammy Rios and let's take a look and see what is available out here for defensive coordinators. We got Jack Parker, who was here originally. Roy Walker. Roy was let go from the Raiders for their situation. He comes with Craig Taylor, also comes with quite a bit of I'm wondering if we might want to bring on Roy Walker here for our defensive coordinator. Let's view his talent tree once. So he does have the one that I wanted, the side I wanted for that. Does he have this side though? He does not. He has the other side all maxed out, but he does have a lot of talents. What about Craig Taylor? He was with Pittsburgh. Let's view his talent tree once. So he's got everything almost, but he's got the opposite side too. You know, he doesn't have the side that we want. I want this side because it focuses on the corners, play recognition, but I mean, I guess maybe we should just let it rock because it already has the strength rating. Stamina, catching for free safeties, pursuit. Maybe we should go with Craig Taylor. I think we do. I think we will. Plus we get a 38-point hiring bonus, which it doesn't sound as much as the 71, but when you think about all the stuff you have to buy, it ends up being a wash. Because now we don't even have to focus on defensive coordinator. That's just free points for us. So let's go ahead and we're going to hire Craig Taylor. And I believe that Justin King is set for us. His talents are almost all there. It's the ones that we wanted. We handpicked these. Now we have a really good coordinator. We just got to work on personnel now and coach, and we have points to do that. So what we could do is now, because of those extra points, we can get some extra stuff here for trading, which is something we desperately need. I don't want to waste it on free agency because I don't know if that's going to be a huge thing this year for us. We need to get some options here for trading. Guaranteed trade package, yes. We need that one. We have 14 points, so we can't get anything else on this categories here. Okay, so where else can we spend this? Yeah, we'll do release for wide receivers, or do we do catching traffic? I think we do release. That's more important. So let's do that there, and that's good. So we bring on a new defensive coordinator. We're still sticking to the same thing. I'm not changing to a 3-4. We don't have the players for it. So I do have to make sure that we are still in our 43. Yeah, we are. Okay. I like the Miami playbook. We're going to stick with that, and we are going to run the Vikings defense still. I still do like the Vikings defense. We're not going to go away from that, but you saw there we were a 96% scheme fit in that Miami book with the multiple zone run. So we're going to stick to that. Now that we have done our staff, we replaced our defensive coordinator after a bad year. Let's take a quick peek again now at the stats. I went over this earlier, but I think I'm going to cut that out. Yeah, I cut that out of the video because it was like week 13. It was a really weird week. So I just did the last few weeks, and we'll look at the stats now. So Kirk Cousins ends up finishing with 25 touchdowns and 18 interceptions. Not a good way to end the season. We end up with not even a 60% completion, which is usually what Kirk Cousins is known for. Kellen Mond completed one more pass. Look at that. Rushing, Alexander Mattison finishes at 715. Not too bad, but that average is horrible, 3.7. You can see the drastic difference between Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison. I'm trying not to hold Mattison accountable for that too much just because we did have a lot of injuries along the offensive line. Strickland ended up leading the way with 5 touchdowns on the ground for us. Receiving, both Jefferson and Thielen topped the 1,000-yard mark. Jefferson, 1,249, 5 touchdowns. Thielen, 1,000 for 7 touchdowns. Osborne had a decent year, 668 for 4 touchdowns. Derek Barnes did not find the end zone, but we saw some glimpses from him. He really showed out in that Miami game, and he had a couple of big games after that as well. Defensively, Danielle Hunter ends with 11.5. Michael Pierce ends with 7. Tomlinson, 4.5. Kendricks, 3. Martin Jefferson came back from injury and got 1 more sack, so not too bad, I guess. Kendricks ended with 4 interceptions for us, and everything else was pretty much the same. We end the season as one of the least amount of yards allowed, right? Which makes no sense. We're right outside the top 5 for pass yards allowed. And we're at least mid-pack for defensively, but we gave up so many points. It seems like we were just giving up points all the time. And yeah, we finish in the top 10 for most points allowed, which, makes sense. And then you can see here where that comes from. We're in the bottom half for sacks. We literally had 0 fumbles recovered all season. 0 fumbles recovered all season. I mean, we weren't the only team, but that's just unacceptable. We did good at the interception front. We had 16, but our defense needed an uplift, and hopefully a new coordinator and some new players will let us get there. Let's go ahead and sim past this week. After the wild card round, the Packers get knocked out by the Saints. This series makes no sense. Ian Book is the quarterback for the Saints, and he knocked out Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. That's crazy to me. The rest of the games, I'm okay with. I'm a little still caught off guard with the Lions winning, but again, when we sim these games, we're gonna have some weird stuff happening. That's just Madden. That's just crazy. That is crazy to me. After the divisional round, the Saints lose to Washington, which was expected. It's Washington and Dallas, an NFC East rivalry, and an AFC West rivalry for the conference championship rounds. How awesome is that? Both 1 and 5 seeds. I just noticed that. Both of them are the 1 seed and the 5 seed. And the Pro Bowl is set. Both? You're kidding me right now, right? Is this like staged? Both of the 5 seeds upset the number 1 seeds for the Super Bowl. I don't know about that, y'all. I don't know. Anyway. Pro Bowl roster. Did any of our players make it? I highly doubt it. Deshaun Watson ends up making the Pro Bowl after a year away. Look, and I know I touched on this when I announced it first. I don't know what to think of the Deshaun Watson situation. I really don't. I do feel very... I have to see what's happening more. I know there's been a lot of reports of him getting railroaded and, maybe some things not being as truthful as they seem. I don't know if that's true or not. What I do know is I'm not trying to make this a thing with him in the series. I'm not trying to pick sides. I just want to make that clear. Because if the things that happen are remotely true, they're horrible, right? But in this series, we're just pretending that this didn't happen. We're gonna remove that negative energy from this series. So Deshaun Watson makes the Pro Bowl. Matt Ryan makes it. Teddy Bridgewater and Lamar Jackson, of course, as well. We have 3 quarterbacks: Brady and Mahomes, McCaffrey, Chubb, Henry Kamara, Barkley and Robinson, Juszczyk and Ricard, Cox and Stanton, Kirk, Hill, Ridley, Higgins, Evans, Godwin, Gage Jr., Judy, McLaurin, Diggs, Sutton, new Lions receiver, and Beasley, Pitts, Gesicki, Kittle, and Kelsey, Howard and Smith. So far, none of our players, which I guess is not very surprising. Danielle Hunter made it. That's also not surprising. Pat Grant made it. I think that's one of the first rookies I've seen that have made it, that I know offhand. I mean, there could be other ones that I'm not recognizing by first initial last name, but I remember seeing Pat Grant having a really good year. So yeah, no, it was just those guys. Our only player was Danielle Hunter. Wow. So Nick Chubb ends up being the MVP of the league. I did not see that coming. Vic Fangio gets Coach of the Year with his 14-3 record. Dak Prescott takes home Offensive Player of the Year. Khalil Mack does on defense. Jimmy Randall ends up winning Rookie of the Year. He's going to get a big increase from that. Kenny Lewis, number 2. Keegan Haynes, he's up to a 76 now. That's crazy, man. That guy was a 67 before he got that progression story. You know what I mean? That guy was a 67, and now he is a 76 after that. That's just awesome. I love that. I'm sorry, that's just really, really cool. I'm gonna look back just to make sure I'm not wrong here. Yeah, Keegan Haynes. He was a 67 normal, drafted in the 5th round. He gets that dedicated offseason role. He jumps up to a 71, gets the superstar dev, and now he's 3rd in Offensive Rookie of the Year rankings, and he is up to a 76. He's about to take over the Falcons' backfield. That is awesome. That's really cool. Strickland somehow finished in the top 10 just because of his touchdowns. Pat Grant, of course, he wins that. He'll get a nice boost. James Streets, Chester Gaddis, Martin Jefferson somehow. I don't know. Those are the yearly awards. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you guys want to see... the awards for the AFC? I know we're not in the AFC, but I don't know. Maybe there's some people watching that are just fans of football and want to see. So Nick Chubb was Offensive Player of the Year. Von Miller, Defensive Player of the Year. And for the most part, the guys you expect to see. Zachary Farr, of course, wins Offensive Rookie. He is now an 85. Man, I wish we could have drafted that guy. Josh Franklin, another rookie quarterback that started for the Steelers this year. He ends up finishing as a 76. Now that we have reached the end of the season, let's take a quick peek at this season recap. You see here the Cowboys end up winning the championship over the Chargers. Ezekiel Elliott gets the Super Bowl MVP. And you see the quick breakdown of the yearly awards on the side. Nick Chubb on there twice, Vic Fangio, Khalil Mack, Zachary Farr, and Pat Grant. And as you can see, our overall fell quite a bit. We were at one point an 84 defense and I believe an 80 offense. And I'm going to show you why. So we got hit pretty hard when it came to regression, in my opinion. It's hard to tell because we had a bad year, so everybody's morale is down right now. But if you click in, you can see, of course, the regular. Kirk Cousins drops from a 77 down to a 73 after the regression cycle. Adam Thielen dropped all the way to an 81, and he dropped down to normal, is it? Star dev. He dropped from superstar to star, which I did expect because of the, his age. We didn't really lose much of anything here. Garrett Bradbury is still a 78, of course. Tomlinson, however, he didn't lose anything, which I was surprised about. So we will be offering him a contract like I was talking about before, but I was a little hesitant on doing. Defensively, don't ask me how, but both Anthony Barr and Harrison Smith rose up to X Factors. I really don't know how. And Anthony Barr also lost a few. He went down to a 75. He was a 77, I believe, at the beginning of the season. So we end up getting an X Factor out of him. He is now a selfless, which that one's sort of, whatever. No outsiders is cool. Harrison Smith is back up to an X Factor. I believe he was in past Maddens, but fell off a little bit. He did take quite a bit of a bump, though. He drops down to an 82, and you can see here he lost quite a bit. 3 to speed, 6 to pursuit, 6 to tackle, but he somehow gained an X Factor. He's now a shutdown and Stonewall, which I'm not going to complain. We'll take it for sure. Nobody really lost except Adam Thielen. He went from superstar to star, but everybody else stayed the same. So not too bad of a role for us. So as it stands, we're a 79 overall team right now. And you see our salary cap is fixed. We're at 57.2. We're in the offseason week. I wanted to take this week to really go into the prospects because it's going to come to the point where we have to choose more players for the private workouts. So I really wanted to make sure we know for sure who we want to look at more. I'm still torn on which guys to do, but I think I'm going to be putting Roland Abbott as one of the private workouts. The last time we did Mcelroy, Hopkins, and of course we did Patton. But Abbott won Heisman Trophy this year. I was very surprised by that. I didn't hear anything about him all year, and then all of a sudden he's our Heisman winner. He's a field general, which would match our scheme, as you can see, and let's just take a look at his stats. Never seen a window he won't throw into. Beautiful spiral, antsy in the pocket, knows when to throw the ball, will break the pocket occasionally, which means he's balanced at least. Fast flick of the wrist throwing motion. His throw power is not the best. For some reason he has A trucking. But he has B across the board for all of his accuracies, and he has C for play action. I'm really torn. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put Abbott as one of our focus players to try to get him up to 100%. And I would like to do something other than quarterbacks as well. I don't want to waste it all on quarterbacks, even though we desperately need one. Sergio Romero moved up to the top receiver spot after being named wide receiver of the year. Jamarcus Means also moves up above Ty Torrance because he was the all-time receptions record holder at Tennessee. So he moves up a little bit. Ty Torrance now drops to the 3rd overall receiver. Brian Judge is still Brian Judge, Keenan Gerrard. Nick Johnson, what did Nick Johnson end up having? He had a story as well. Let me find it. Nick Johnson caps off All-Star Week with several spectacular catches. This was the same story that Anthony Spitzer of the Saints had. So I'm curious to see if he ends up having a similar skill set or not. He doesn't seem to have over-the-top talent, just looking at what we're given. But it's something we'll have to keep an eye on in the draft. Ricardo Conley drops, even though he had a story, a good story. No, never mind. Conley was the guy who wants to be a video game designer instead of a football player. Antoine Ross moves up a little bit. Derek Wilcox dropped a few. We actually do have a few guards that I could be looking at, but it depends on where they're at. Nick Foster and Ian Tucker both had stories. I believe, no, not Nick Foster. I'm sorry. Jared Young and Ian Tucker both had stories as positive stories. Actually, no. Jared Young didn't live up to his 5-star hype, which was the same one as Whitehead, and Whitehead ended up being a pretty good player with a lower projection for drafting. And then Ian Tucker was labeled as potentially the best offensive lineman in the draft. Or a smart choice, I guess. And then J.R. Brown was the guy who was listed as the best overall tackle of the class. Rob Cooper had back issues, which were plaguing him. So a few stories for our linemen, which we don't see all too often. I wanted to take a look at, who was it? Dwayne Burke. Okay, so he's top 5. We're not going to be looking at him. I'm trying to find some guys who have stories that maybe aren't top of the list for, second, third, maybe even fourth round consideration. But I'm just not seeing a lot of them. One thing, though, is Alfonso Stevens ended up getting a good story as he was the best corner of the whole season. And the story was he showed every single week why he's the number 1 corner. So it's very apparent that he is going to be the breadwinner when it comes to the corners in this draft. I just don't think we're going to be able to draft him. I'm just going to wing this. Let's go ahead and let's get to the offseason so we can get things on underway here. Okay, here we go. Mock draft 3. Perfect. Let's take a look and see what this mock draft has us touted as. Oh man, I thought we'd have a top 5 pick. We have the 10th pick? I swear to God, if all of these teams right here are like 1 win better than us because we had to beat the Lions the last week of the season for absolutely no reason, I'm going to be heated. They have us taking Ty Torrance though, but that's not somebody we need. I would rather have Alfonso Stevens if we don't get a quarterback. But they have Abbott going 5th. See this? I'm going to have to go on some of these teams again. This makes no sense. Why would the Steelers... I have to make sure the Steelers don't draft Hopkins. I have to make sure of it. I just have to. They just drafted a first rounder in the top 10 last year. I'm so scared of these mock drafts being like exactly what's going to end up going off the board. I know it won't always be that way, but I've seen it so many times with teams and the CPU teams just picking the dumbest positions at the top of the draft. It just makes all of the teams suck because now you have 2 quarterbacks just sitting on a roster. One of them never plays. I feel like the Giants would be a better spot for a quarterback. The Bears, obviously, the left end would probably be a good fit for them. But same with the Eagles. Why would the Eagles draft a quarterback? They have Jalen Hurts, who just had a decent season and got them to the playoffs. Or no, they didn't make the playoffs. What am I thinking? They're in the top 5. But Jalen Hurts did have a good season. I remember seeing it. It wasn't like a fantastic season, but it's not a season worthy of replacing him. So maybe I'm wrong. We'll take a look. And if Jalen Hurts isn't good enough, I'll just leave that be. But at this point, I am going to be hopping on the Steelers because there is no way I'm going to let them draft a quarterback 2 years in a row in the top 10. That just doesn't make any sense. Caleb Byron to the Seahawks. I like that pick because we don't know how long Russell Wilson's going to play. Hunter Patton to the Texans would actually be a good move. Let's go and just take a look some of these teams. Let's see where they're at. So Davis Mills still sucks. He's 72, but he's star now at least. So they definitely need a quarterback. The Steelers have Josh Franklin, who's a 76 overall, drafted in the first round last year. They do not need a quarterback. The Seahawks are going to need one soon. Wilson is getting up there. The Saints somehow got to the playoffs behind Ian Book, who at that point was a 63. He's now a 68. No clue how that happened, but good for him. The Rams could use a quarterback. The Raiders do need a quarterback, so I can definitely see them going after Jerry McLeod. Daniel Jones is a 78 now. He's still normal. He's 26. They don't have the Giants taking a quarterback. I'm not sure if they will or not, but I guess that's not something I feel like I need to interfere with. The Falcons need a quarterback. Matt Ryan is definitely on his last leg. And the Eagles, I don't think they need a quarterback. I mean, I guess I have to look at it the same way I looked at Daniel Jones. I guess it's something I shouldn't stick my nose in, right? What did he do this year for stats? So he had 26 touchdowns, but he did have 15 interceptions. 4,000 yards, 85.2 passer rating. I mean, he's had stats, but it's not been anything, noteworthy. One other thing I saw was the Dolphins are going to draft a running back, which again makes no sense to me, unless they don't plan on keeping Mack, who's still 27. Myles Gaskin is still there, and they drafted Tony Dobson last year. So to me, that's a little weird to draft a running back. Let's take a look at the retirements. Did anybody leave? We did not have anybody leave. Brian Bulaga retired. Melvin Ingram. Case Keenum. Aaron Rodgers retires. He whoops up on us 2 more times and then just leaves. Wow. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not upset, or that I'm upset, because, I'm glad he's gone. Calais Campbell, Blaine Gabbert, Andrew Whitworth, Ben Jones, Nate Solder, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Jameez Alloway, fullback, retires. Patrick Omame, Prater, Hudson, Brown. Tom Brady retires. Cole Beasley. Beasley just came off a Pro Bowl season. Huh. That's sort of surprising. A lot of these aren't too crazy to me. Everson Griffin retired. I was surprised he didn't retire last year. Latavius Murray retires. Remember him? I liked him as a Viking. I liked him as a running back, period. I was happy when they signed him a long time ago. Deshaun Jackson retires. AJ Green retires. Kwan Short. Sean Williams. John Brown. So nothing. Oh, Alshon Jeffrey. I forgot he existed. That sounds horrible, but I really did. Was he still with the Eagles? I don't think so. Wow, that's crazy. And of course, head coach Pete Carroll retired. Let's see what we got for re-signs this year. So Laken Tomlinson's still asking for what, he wants. So I think what we're going to do is we will offer him that contract. Oh yeah, I lowballed him the last time, I forgot. We're going to have to make this good because I don't even remember what it was. Oh, crap. Okay. So we're going to offer him this. Actually, you know what? We'll raise it a little bit more. 6.5. We'll offer him 1 for 6.5. And he accepts. Awesome. So Laken Tomlinson's back. Our guards are stable. We are not going to bring back Kirk Cousins. We are not going to bring back Bashaud Breeland. He is asking for... I don't know why he's asking for so much money. He's going to test. And I think we'll bring back Chris Boyd. If he will resign, of course. And he does. Awesome. So Chris Boyd is back. We pass on Watts, Breeland, and Cousins. We re-signed Tomlinson. And now Dalvin Tomlinson. He did not lose anything. And we can pay him. We don't have anybody else behind him except for James Lynch and Twyman. I don't know if we don't know enough to be confident in a draft for one. Can I offer him 1 year? Can I offer him 1 year? I'll even overpay him a little bit, right? We'll give him 9. 1 year, $9 million. It's the cap would have been the same except minus $1 million if we gave him the 2 years, 16. Let's just see what he says. Maybe he'll take it. Nope, he's not interested. Okay, so I guess we're going to the free agent market then for a D tackle. Maybe we can bring him back. We'll see who's out there. Who knows? Maybe we find a better suitor for him. Maybe somebody younger. But that is our re-sign stage. Really didn't have too many players up this year. Just a couple of big names like Cousins and Tomlinson. I'm really happy to be out of Cousins' contract. I like Kirk Cousins. I think he is a good quarterback. I think he got a lot of flack because his contract was like the first contract out of all of them, and he wasn't the guy you expected to get it. But now looking back at some of the contracts that have come out since then, His wasn't bad. But now at 35, at a 73 overall, I'm not willing to pay him 10 mil. We have Kellen Mond. I mean, I'll deal with Kellen Mond for that, So let's go ahead and let's get to the offseason. Let's get to free agency. Okay. So I first want to see, is Dalvin Cook not back yet? For crying out loud. He should be. Okay, he is. He is now. All right. So Dalvin Cook is back, and the combine results are in. Let's take a quick peek at these combine results. I'm not really interested in the quarterbacks combines. Actually, the only one I am is Hunter Patton and Ryan Borden, just because they are. Ooh, throw under pressure is an A for Patton. Why did I not see that before? So he's a 2 to 3 talent. He is not a top flight quarterback, but he does have great speed. He was the fastest quarterback, quickest as well. What about Borden? He's got some solid speed, not the best. Elite acceleration. But we don't know what he is. Roland Abbott is a guy that I'm really interested in as well after that Heisman thing. Not bad, 5th for quarterback. How bad is Mcelroy and Tompkins? So Mcelroy has poor speed. It just says poor, almost 5 seconds. So that's not good. That's some Tom Brady speed right there. What about Taylor Hopkins? And yes, I know I said Tompkins before. I combined his names. Even worse, above 5 seconds. Okay. Sheesh. What about Jamie Edwards? About the same. Okay, so none of these guys are running the ball. Caleb Byron? He has some nice stats to him. Throw under pressure is an A. He's got decent speed, so it's not like he's that slow. Throw power is only good, but why did I not look at that? Does Mcelroy and Hopkins have elite? Elite. Okay. What about Hopkins? Yep, Hopkins has elite too. Okay. Wide receivers is what I'm interested in the most because there is a potential that we take a wide receiver. Jamarcus Means. This is the guy who holds the record at Tennessee for most receptions. He ends with a 4.42. How is that just solid? 7th for wide receivers. Ty Torrance. He's been the number 1. Okay, he's really slow. How is solid the same thing for 4.48, 4.58 and 4.42? See, that's where I get confused sometimes. How is that the same? Ty Torrance runs a 4.58. Jamarcus Means runs a 4.42, and they're both considered solid speed. To me, that doesn't make any sense. What about Brian Judge? Did he run anything? He did. And he didn't have a bad 40. 4.46. Not too bad. Nick Johnson, who was the guy who made all the plays at the All-Star game, he runs a 4.48, so he's closer to the slower side than what I would like, especially for that size at 6 foot. Oscar McCann, B catching, that's good. 4.52, so he's just your big body, go up and get it kind of guy. Khalid Benford. Derek Wilcox is somebody I was really interested in just because of his positioning in the draft. He ends up in a 4.48, which isn't too bad. There was somebody down here who ended up having really good speed that I almost looked over. Yep, 4.24. I thought I looked at McLean. Did I look at Conley? Captain Video Game. Percy Kennard ends up having a... What was that? 4.4 flat. Okay. Wasn't it, was it Jamarcus Means who had a 4.38? 4.42. I feel like Jamarcus Means might be the guy, but I just don't know I don't think we're gonna be able to get him. Okay, let's find some linemen now that have good combines. We're gonna hope that still leads us down the right path. Let's look at some of the guys who had stories. Ian Tucker. He's projected to go first round. A awareness on alignment. That's awesome. Yeah, he had, well, he still didn't have the best bench press, but everything else seems pretty much, aside from 40 in bench, and the bench is still at least 30 reps, that's still the thing that I'm aiming for, is you have 30 reps on the bench. Jared Young, maybe J.R. Brown. Impact block is A. 34, well, I mean, not bad, but he's pretty balanced, though. He is pretty balanced. J.R. Brown might be a good talent. But I need to find some guys that are, like, down here, you know, like the Manny Brocks and the Gregory Barnetts. We need to find a guy in the mid-rounds that we can take. 30 reps on the dot for Barnett. Paul Anderson. Somebody has to be, okay, run blocking and D. I'm already uninterested. Somebody has to be good. Somebody, right? So now that we know a little bit more about the players, I do want to go back and I want to check out AJ Alexander. I know I drafted linebackers last year. I know I did. But sometimes you just got to take players, even if you don't know, even if you're not really sure if you need them. He's got A zone coverage, B block shedding. He had a great combine. And yeah, look at that. 3-cone drill and 20-yard. He's first. He's fifth in 40 yards. Everything about him is elite or great, except strength. But we don't need him to have strength at our linebackers. We need him to cover. And his physicals are off the chart. Plus, oh my gosh. And he's got B play recognition. I like this kid, AJ Alexander. Nate Mack was another one who got talked about, but he's more of a defensive end. I would love to be able to land Alfonso Stevens. I just don't think it's going to happen. Let's check out this free agency for a little bit here, huh? Tyreek Hill. First player I see. Tyreek Hill is available. I really should have been on teams, guys. And I know I mentioned it. I saw in the comments, I think it was Torres made a comment about, you know, just go on them anyway. And I think next year I'm going to try to do that. It is a lot of work, but if I can jump on them every year and just jump off them if I need to make trades, because Tyreek Hill should not be in free agency, you would think. I mean, you'd think the Chiefs would re-sign him. Same with Quentin Nelson. And now he's just sitting here in free agency. We might have to have a big free agency, guys. I wasn't expecting it, but it might have to happen now. And let's take a look. We got at quarterback, we only have Kellen Mond. We have Kirk Cousins, who still wants 10. Taylor Heineke wants 2 for 14. I'm not going to pay him that. Mitchell Trubisky, no. Drew Lock, no. Jimmy Garoppolo, no. Kyle Trask, he's young. 4 years for 20, though. Do we want to tie ourselves to a quarterback for 4 years when we already have Kellen Mond? I don't think we do. Yeah, I think we're going to pass on him. Gardner Minshew. I'd like to bring a guy in on a 1 year. I don't want to have to. Who is James Gonzalez and why is he in here? Okay, James Gonzalez. I still don't think I want to tie myself to him, especially if we're going to draft one this year. His awareness is a 60. Yikes. Could bring in Dwayne Haskins. I'm just kidding. I don't see a quarterback that I want to sign. We almost have to find one in. Yeah, we're not bringing on any of these guys. Running backs, we definitely don't need a running back. Kareem Hunt's out here. Tony Pollard is out here. Okay. Melvin Gordon, Kenyon Drake, Darrell Henderson. I'm surprised to see him out here. Oh. We have a fullback from last year in here. This is something I might really sign. I mean, CJ Ham's getting up there. Ken Walden's a 73. Oh, yeah. Yep, we're going to bring Ken Walden in. Bring him on a 1 year, just in case it don't work. Okay, so as much as I would like to bring in somebody like McLaurin or Hill, it just doesn't make any sense. Preston Williams might be a nice addition. Harris Campbell, N'Keal Harry, Miles Boykin. Okay. I'm trying to find some younger guys here, but I don't think anybody's going to really spark my interest as much as a rookie big-bodied receiver. I would like to maybe bring in another guy down in this area just for depth and to, see what we got. Are there any younger guys that haven't really had a chance yet? I'd like for somebody at least 25 or below. I'd love lower than that in age, but I don't know how many of them we're going to find. Marquez Stevenson. Let's just run down the list here and just see if we find anybody. I'm not seeing anybody. Nope. All the young guys stayed on their teams. Teams weren't willing to get rid of them. Whoa. We have some really good linemen in free agency right now. Isaiah Wynn, his injury is only 81 though. I'm a little caught off by that. I'm not gonna lie. Quentin Nelson. If I could sign Quentin Nelson, I would. It looks like I could afford this. I could afford Quentin Nelson. Do we go for a play like this? He's 27. He's gonna be good for a few years yet. I could probably even offer him 4 years. Oh, that's hard to not just do. That's really hard. Who else is out here? Brandon Scherf is out here, but he's already 31. Jack Conklin is out here. Oh, what do you guys think? I think I should go after a high-end lineman. I'm already just torn on who I could even try to grab. This guy's 2 years older than Cleveland, right? He's superstar. What does he have for abilities? Puller, elite, and nasty streak. I think we got to make a play for him. Let's try it. Let's. Can we bring him in? Oh my gosh, we overpaid and we're just tying. Okay, let's see what else. Is there any younger guys that I can try to build around? We have Udo there. We could really use a backup left or backup right tackle. Ooh, Terrence Steele might be a good option, but he's not agile. He's not even close to being agile. What about Eric Purnell? What about left tackles? I could always try to swing somebody. I don't want to replace Darisaw. I think that he still has a chance yet. I want to give him another season at least before we start looking at that pool. Elijah Wilkinson? Could he be a right tackle? His pass blocking is definitely better than his run blocking. Not pass block power, that is. He does fit our scheme, though. I think we should try to grab Wilkinson. See if we can move him over to the other side. Montez Sweat is out here. Oh my gosh. I could just go on a signing spree. I don't want to do that, but it's hard, especially how bad our defense was last year. And here we go. We have guys that could potentially replace Jefferson, but is it worth it? Is it worth replacing him? What's that D tackle? Ionidis is available. Dalvin Tomlinson is here. So you sort of fall off the cliff after Dalvin. I think we should try to bring Dalvin back. Hopefully he comes back. Otherwise we're gonna be rough. What about corners? Rock Ya-Sin is out here. Greedy Williams. Oh man, that would be a nice combo, huh? We should try to find somebody to replace Bashad Breeland. Do we try to bring in Greedy Williams? I feel like I'm being greedy at this point. I don't know if I can. I don't know. I think I want to save some extra money. So if we're going to get somebody this low, I'd rather him at least be like a, 22, 23. I'm not seeing it. All right, so I think we're going to have to go after a corner. This might be a year where we have to start looking at trying to replace, or at least getting somebody in line to replace Harrison Smith. I don't know if Metellus or Bynum will be ready by that time. Plus, they're both 25. So let's say, a year from now, right? They're going to replace Harrison Smith. They're going to be 26 already. And what are they going to be? Maybe a 71, 72 at best. Which sucks because there was a few guys that, I would like to build up more, but just the age thing makes that hard to do. Well, the good thing, though, is that means that we can really go hard at the guys we want, right? So we go after Nelson, Tomlinson, Walden, and Wilkinson. I think that's a pretty decent haul for free agency, at least for now. I mean, we're not getting any super crazy good players, but we are bringing in some solid depth. And we're bringing back one of our starters. And we are definitely upgrading the line. Before we make this deal, though, let me see what we're looking at for salaries now. We have to remember that this is not counting for rookie reserve. So we do want to make sure we have some extra stuff over the top. We could move on from CJ Ham. But I don't want to. I like CJ Ham. So we end up freeing up another $2 million just in the dead cap space for the practice squad guys. If we could land Quentin Nelson, that would be a huge advantage to us. I think he's worth it. I'll pay him the extra money to try to get him from the Jets. The problem, though, is if we don't land him, all these other guys below, like Reisner and Sheriff, are going to be off the board. We could still try to get a guy like David DeCastro, but at that point, you might as well just stick with Cleveland, who's 25. So if we can't land Nelson, it's pretty much dead in the water. Actually, we'd be smarter to try after Nelson because he's still asking for $40 million. And the reason for that is because he's a tackle. So there's a different pay grade there compared to Nelson, who's a 98. That's a huge difference in overall. Yeah, let's just stick here and let's try to hit home on Nelson. We need to get Dalvin Tomlinson back. Otherwise, our defense is going to be in some serious trouble this year. There's other available players after him, but nobody that's going to be as good as Tomlinson for us. Little concerned. We had a bad year. Sometimes I feel like that makes the players not want to go to your team as much, which it does make sense, especially for veterans to want to do that. And then also, can we move up? Let's look at that before I get too deep into this. Is there a way for us to move up with a team that maybe isn't the most quarterback needy, like the Steelers, right? The Steelers are picking 2nd overall. We are picking 10th overall. Could we swing a trade with them to get ourselves the 2nd overall pick and at least get one of the top quarterbacks? Obviously, we'd have to give up some stuff. So let's first try just the lowest package possible, the 6th and the 7th. I know that's not going to go. Ooh, that's a heck of a lot closer than I thought it would be. Okay, so let's make this a little realistic. Let's give up our 4th rounder. We're moving up 8 spots. Okay, this is my offer here. Harrison Hand, our 1st round pick, and our 5th round pick. Harrison Hand is 24. He's a 71. He immediately becomes their number 2. If they don't sign or draft anybody. Now, they might still sign somebody. So let's go ahead and see if they take this. They do not. So the 4th is going to have to be the play here. Harrison Hand, our 4th and our 1 to get their 1 and guarantee us a new quarterback. There we go. We just moved up to the 2nd overall pick. So now we know we are picking number 2. That's awesome. We are going to go ahead and bring in a corner now. We're going to do Artie Burns, former Steeler. We'll bring him in on a 1 year. He'll be our nickel guy. He can be our veteran leadership in the corner room. So now before we go ahead and hit next week and see which players we got, which players we didn't, let's take a quick rundown of the guys we are targeting. So we are targeting Quentin Nelson. He's our big ticket free agent. If we get him, our run game, I think, immediately gets better, regardless of who's running the rock. Dalvin Tomlinson, we bring him back. We tried to lowball him. It bit us in the butt. Now we have to pay him just the same, if not more, actually more than what he was wanting on just the re-sign. That's my fault. I tried to lowball him. It didn't work. We bring in Ken Walden because Ham is 30. He's getting up there. His contract is up after this year. Walden could be the guy that replaces him. we bring in Artie Burns. He's going to replace Harrison Hand and Bashaud Breeland, and he's going to help play our slot while we get somebody else up to speed, hopefully through the draft. And then Elijah Wilkinson, who we want to slide over to right tackle to back up Brian O'Neill and give us some really solid depth across the entirety of the O-line. Let's go ahead and let's just wing it, okay? We get Quentin Nelson and Dalvin Tomlinson and Artie Burns. We get everybody. The only two we didn't get was the fullback and then Wilkinson. But we got Quentin Nelson. And we're still the top on these two guys. They just didn't accept yet. How awesome does that look? Quentin Nelson is now on the team. We have ourselves a line now. Darisaw, he's going to bounce back. I have a feeling Nelson is going to be good. Bradbury was good for us when he was playing. Tomlinson is a heck of a veteran to have. And Brian O'Neill has been a pretty solid as well. A little bit of issues once in a while, but we got our guy. And honestly, if it came down to it, we can play Nelson at any position on this line. We get Dalvin Tomlinson back, so our D tackles are still intact. I love our offseason so far. I'm really liking this. We just got ourselves the number 2 overall pick by trading up with the with the Steelers. And now it's going to come down to who do the Raiders decide to take. Would it be possible for us to move on from a guy like Ezra Cleveland? He's in the final year of his contract. We just signed Quentin Nelson. He's a star dev, so he's going to fetch a good rate of return. Could we leverage Cleveland in return for either draft capital or a player or two? I would only trade him to a team that he would start on. I wouldn't screw a team over like that. If he can't start there, I would not send him there. Ooh, guys, this could be our next D tackle. Ezra Cleveland for Turner and a third. And we get the trade. And we're moving him in right inside right away. He becomes a 70 at D tackle, which I'm okay with. He's 22 years old, 1-year pro. We're going to put him on our focus players immediately. Let's go ahead and advance week. We got all of the guys we were looking for. We get Walden, Wilkinson, and McGovern. This roster is looking a heck of a lot better right now, and we haven't even gotten to the draft yet. Quarterback is the one spot we're severely lacking still, which we know. We understood that. Linebackers are pretty much set for now. We need a corner. If we could land AJ Alexander at linebacker, I would love that. And now it's time for private workouts. I already know that I want to do Roland Abbott because he all of a sudden became a top 5. I would like to do Caleb Byron just because he is listed. Oh man, do I have to do 3 more quarterbacks? Maybe I do to make this decision easy. Because Roland Abbott's one of them, of course. But then we have Caleb Byron, and there was just a story for Bruce Jefferson. Oh, he's day 3. Never mind. I don't know why I was even looking at that. Day 3, just get out of here. We're good. Let's do Derek Wilcox. He had a really good pro day, I think it was. Yeah, great combine. That's what it was. So we'll do Wilcox. And then we're going to do Alexander. Those are going to be the 3 guys. And I hope that we get everything for them. We don't need anything else in free agency. Not for now, anyway. Let's take a look at some of the free agents that have signed throughout the league, though. I'm just curious. So we had Drew Lock go to the Texans. And if they don't draft somebody, he's going to be their starter. Kyle Trask went back to the Bucks. James Gonzalez also went to the Texans, so that'll be interesting. Nick Foles to the... Yeah, and then we don't care about the rest. Tyler Huntley was out here? I should have taken Tyler Huntley. Kareem Hunt goes to the Raiders. Not 100% sure why. I guess they're going to have a 1-2 punch with him and Josh Jacobs, which, I mean, that's going to be deadly. Tony Pollard goes to the Texans. I really like that move. Did they have anybody there beforehand? I think they just had... Yeah, they had Philip Lindsay and David Johnson, I think. That's a solid move. Myles Gaskin goes to the Patriots. That makes sense, actually, to me. Chase Edmond also goes to the Patriots. That also makes sense. The Patriots love their running backs that can do it all. Benny Snell goes to the Chiefs. Justin Jackson to the Browns. Dearness Johnson goes to the Seahawks. I didn't even know he was available. I would have signed him. I liked watching him play for the Browns this year. Tyreek Hill goes to the Eagles. Wow. Terry McLaurin goes to the Patriots. There's some big name receivers going other places. Scotty Miller to San Fran. Preston Williams goes to the Seahawks. Not a bad signing. Campbell to the Saints. N'Keal Harry goes to the Packers. We'll be seeing him. John Ross to the Patriots. Keyshawn Johnson to the Falcons. Okay. Dallas Goedert went to the Jets. The Jets are putting together a really good team. Zach Wilson just came off of that really good season. This is a team we have to look out for. They just came off the playoff berth. They didn't get very far, but a playoff berth nonetheless. Isaiah Wynn went to San Francisco. Sheriff went to the Chargers. Conklin goes to the Steelers. Montez Sweat goes to the Chargers. Man, Chargers putting together a nice unit too. Draymond Jones ended up going to the Packers, so we'll see him. The guy that we were interested in possibly signing. Vinny Curry also goes to the Packers. Fletcher Cox goes back to the Eagles. Okay. Matthew Ioannidis goes to the Falcons. I like that move. Ogunjobi goes to the Titans. Costin to the Eagles. Jones to the 49ers along with Wharton. Greg Gaines to the Cardinals. Grady Jarrett to the Packers. Okay, we'll be seeing him. That's going to be a pretty lethal combo with him, Kenny Clark, and Draymond Jones. They have a whole different starting unit out there. Jerry Tillery goes to the Texans. Cleveland Farrell to the Cardinals. I like that move. Zadarius Smith going to the Raiders. Levante David. That's weird not seeing him as a Buck. He signs with the Bengals. Bobby Wagner is also... Okay, Cincinnati. I mean, calm down here. Do they even run a 3-4? We'll have to check on that. If they don't, I'm going to move one of those guys outside. We'll make sure that those two guys are on the field at all times. I'm not going to let the CPU do that. Rock Ya-Sin goes to the Patriots. Greedy Williams to the Rams. Sidney Jones to the Chiefs. Fenton to the Seahawks. Wallace to the Steelers. Lewis to the Steelers. Young to the Chiefs. Trey Herndon to the Packers. Jefferson's going to burn him. Not too much for safeties out there. Jabril Peppers went to the Bears, so we'll see him more often. I'm surprised the Giants let him go. Jonathan Abram goes to the Texans. Okay. Pretty fun offseason so far, guys. I gotta say, I'm having some fun with this one. A lot better than last year when we had no money, we couldn't sign anybody, we didn't have great draft picks or draft position. This year is a very different ball game. And this is going to be a very long video. I can tell right now. I've been recording this thing for a lot longer than I want to be. Well, not that I want to be, because I'm having fun, but in terms of trying to not make the videos so long. Okay, so now we've done the recap. We've picked our private workouts. Let's go ahead and hit Advanced Week so we can get to the draft. I know I said I was getting to the draft, but I wanted to take a quick peek at what our draft picks look like right now and see if there is any movements that I want to make based off of the guys that I'm sort of trying to, the positions that I'm trying to land. So we have 2 thirds, no fifth, or no fourth, fifth, a sixth, and 2 sevenths. How much do you think it would cost for us to take this extra third and try and get another second? I just feel like there's a few players at the prospects that are up, you know, from the back, like from the second to the third, that I'd like a chance at getting a couple more of them, you know? Like I've already decided, you know, I've accepted that I'm not going to get Stevens unless I'm not going to get a quarterback. And it's just, regardless of how surefire Stevens seems to be based off of his stories, I can't pass up on a quarterback if I got this second pick. You just can't. Lindsey Vasher would even be would be awesome. Another Carl Hopkins. You know, Ty Torrance, now that he's fallen a little bit. McClellan is a good prospect. There's so many guys around this area. I feel like we need an extra first. But how would we get one? Even if I have to, you know, like a guy like Judge. Why does this guy not have a picture? This one bothering me. Is he any good? Connor McElroy. He's a little bit too small. It's weird that he doesn't have a picture, though. Does he have one of those new faces? Holy Moses. Are you guys seeing this combine right now? This guy's got a top 5 in, well, except for the 20-yard, but my gosh. Oh, why did I look at this guy? Oh, man. What was his name? McElroy. I'm coming back to that guy. We're going to remember him. Von Burney. There's the guy that... This is the guy that my GM spotlighted and told me to draft. That might not be a bad spot to target a D tackle, 2nd to 3rd round. Is there anybody else up here? Thought I saw one more. Jerry Cannon. I know we just traded for one, but if we can still land a guy, if we can land a guy to replace like Lynch or somebody of that nature. Oscar McCann's back here, receiver. Will Robinson, safety. That was the guy I was looking at. And now with Harrison Smith taking such a hit, we might need a safety. More so than I thought we did. There's just a lot of good players back here. This is a guy that I'm really interested in going after. I know his deep route is an F, but he's 6'5", 224. He ran a 4.48. I just want a 6'5" guy so bad. I'm almost willing to do weird things to get it. John Hairston, Daryl Ramsey, another linebacker. Keelan McLean, Brian Gabriel, my Wisconsin people. Terrell Boone from Wisconsin. Conley, Captain Video Games. Okay, all right. I've seen enough. I'm on a mission to not just settle, but to try and make huge moves in this draft. I don't think I even have anybody I can trade these guys, though. You know, like I don't even have quality players to trade. Do we dare trade Dalvin Cook? No, I can't do that. Can I? Like, can I? What would happen if I did? I know I could get a first for him. Do we make that call? I know I mentioned it earlier this year. Or this season. I know I mentioned it. Do we move on from Cook? I feel like this is the time to do it if we're going to do it. We're bringing in a rookie quarterback. We just brought in a new lineman, which obviously would help Cook out, but can we count on him? Can we continue to hope he's not going to get hurt? They sort of do have a need for it. Pollard is a nice addition. He is. But he's already 26. I mean, he'll have a good impact for now, but him and Cook together would do a lot more damage than him and Michelle together. And they could still get a quarterback with the 7th pick. Gotta get a 4th this year? How about that? Let's try it. Here goes nothing. Oh my gosh, guys. They took the trade. I don't know if I was expecting it to be declined, but I'm still shocked. Holy crap. Holy crap. We just traded Dalvin Cook. I made mention of this earlier this year when Dalvin Cook went down again. I've dealt with it every season. Dalvin Cook gets hurt. He's gone for multiple games. It goes without fail every single year. Granted, we didn't have a very good run game this past year, but is that because of the running back or was it because of the line? We had a lot of injuries. This team is in a transition period. We have to bring in a new quarterback. We still have Thielen, but we are trying to transition the receiving core. The offensive line is young. The defense is transitioning slowly. Dalvin Cook, while a great player in real life, for the most part, he's injury prone. And he left us again during the regular season. And now, granted, we did lose after he left. We were losing before that. And the one game we watched when he was hurt, the last one against the Dolphins, we did fare fine. Now, will we have that breakaway speed again? I don't know. At some point, I would assume we would. Maybe we draft somebody. But what we just did was we just traded and made moves to secure the number 2 pick to get our future quarterback. We now have the 29th pick, the 39th pick, and the 42. We have 4 picks in the top 45. Plus, we still have 2/3 after that, and a 4th, which we just got from Houston as well. This trade is a win. The Texans, they get a star running back that if he stays healthy, he will be probably the top back in the league next year. They still have their 7th overall pick to get their franchise quarterback. We unloaded a big contract, and we also just secured our future because we are going to make some noise in this draft, I think. We have to. If we miss on this draft, oh boy, that's going to be bad. Because we have 4 picks in the top 45. That's crazy. I've done this before when I've traded Dalvin Cook away. But this, with how I have been so meticulous and close with everything and making sure everything goes as smoothly as possible, I'm happy right now. I think this is going to be a serious offseason to really bring us on the right path to a championship. And now let's look. There might be running backs that we can go after. I'm sure there are. But the thing is, we still don't need to reach for one. You know, we have plenty of talent. We have Madison. We have Nwanu if need be. Do we have to reach for one of these guys? No, we don't. We can, if need be, but we don't need to. I'm really excited because now I know we're going to get a couple of good players. We're going to get our quarterback, and we are going to end up getting somebody, you know, corner, safety, somebody that is going to be a very, very good addition. Will we get Alfonso Stevens, my Wisconsin corner? No, we probably won't. We probably won't get Slay either. But we could end up getting a guy possibly like Ferguson or Hopkins or Vasher or Mcelroy that we just found with no picture. They're 1 to 2 guys. They could be there at the top of the second or the back end of the first. Randall McCall is still 2 to 3. Justin George, Tavon Burrell. We could go after a safety to replace Harrison Smith. Look at this. Nobody's even from the first round. They're all second and thirds. James Kemp, Von Burney, Jimmy Marshall, Rudy Pierman, John Hairston, Will Edens, John Dodson, Jaden Austin. I mean, we have a whole bunch of guys here. Same with the strong safeties. We could even get another D tackle. There's a few guys here in the second and third rounds that I like at left end, like a Quincy Miller or a Kasim Conley. I can't take any of these guys. I would love a guy like Winslow, Lance, or Burrell, or Dugans, but I just don't think that they're going to be there for us. We could see maybe a guy like Jerry Cannon or Devontae Coleman, maybe an Alfonso Galloway. All of these guys could play for us. Now we're picking at 29, which is right where Ty Torrance is listed. But look at all these corners here. We don't have to go receiver. We could go one of these corners. What if Hopkins or Vasher is there? And I'll be honest, after seeing that guy's combine, I might want to take Mcelroy. I don't know how to say his last name. He's got A press. I really like that. What is his other stuff? A hit power? What? That's different. Okay. It all comes down to the Raiders. Who do the Raiders take at number 1? Whoever they take, we're probably going to take the other one. I think I'm comfortable with Hopkins, as I know McLeod was the number 1. I think that who's going to go 1 is McLeod, based off of, what I've seen. If Hopkins doesn't go, Abbott is somebody I'm high on as well. I don't know. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and let's start off this NFL draft. Okay, we got the Raiders on the board. I did not jump on anybody's team for this draft at all. After we traded with the Steelers, and they're not picking 2 anymore, I'm hoping that they avoid a quarterback now. I'm just going to let it rock out. I hope anyway that they don't. But let's go ahead and let's see who the Raiders take so we know who our quarterback is going to be. And they go ahead and they take Jerry McLeod, quarterback out of Virginia. Let's go ahead and make Taylor Hopkins our first round pick and our first rookie quarterback of this series. 21 years old, 6'4", 235 pounds, out of Oklahoma. Okay, so he's hidden dev. That's good. Let's see here. Throw power, 96 throw power. That is nice. 70 speed and 80 acceleration. Honestly, not too bad of speed and acceleration. I expected it to be much worse. 81 change of direction. We get our guy. The Giants go ahead and take Josh Gilbert, the right end. Dwayne Burke goes to the Bears. We saw that coming. Roland Abbott, the Heisman winner, goes to Philly. I was not very keen on them taking a quarterback. But after looking at the stats, I don't think that it's something I had to really, jump in and stop. Because it's not like Hurts is like 80 overall or anything like that. And he has not had the greatest of seasons. So Philly's going to have a new quarterback this year. Depending on his overall, we'll see. Santiago Sanchez, the top left tackle, is going to go to the Colts after they lose Quentin Nelson to nobody else other than the Vikings. And they go J.R. Brown. I'm very surprised by that pick. I thought they were going to go quarterback. And there goes Alfonso Stevens. Yeah, no way we were getting him. I mean, even if we stayed put, we wouldn't have been able to get him at 10. And then Sergio Romero goes to the Bengals. First wide receiver off the board. Timmy Henley, left end, goes to the Steelers. Terrell Slay, right off, another corner off the board. Dylan Winslow to the Jags. Delroy Cobbs, the left guard, goes to the Panthers. DeAndre Brooks goes to the Patriots. Another linebacker, Nate Mack, to the Cardinals. James Ferguson, another corner. They are flying off the board fast. And there goes a quarterback. Caleb Byron is coming to Detroit. He was a guy that I was not against taking if need be at quarterback. He had a good story, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And now we'll have 2 rookie quarterbacks coming into the NFC North the same year. That is going to be fun to watch. Jamarcus Means goes to the Seahawks. The Jets bring in Ian Tucker. Chris Rose goes to the Dolphins. Victor McDougald goes to the Browns. Carl Hopkins goes to the Falcons. Another corner. These guys are flying off the board. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a chance at one. Emmanuel Baggs to the Packers. Jonathan Foster, the tight end, to the Ravens. Reuben Thomas, the running back, to the Dolphins. Lindsey Vasher to the Titans. All of the corners are going. Hunter Patton, the quarterback. Ian Book leads this team to the playoffs, and they follow his season up by drafting somebody in the first round. And they go Connor Johnston. We are on the board here. The Broncos want to move down 1. We could pick up a 3rd and a 7th this year. That is interesting, but it depends on who they want and who's left, because all of those corners went off the board. I don't know if there's anybody left for us to take at corner. I wanted to hopefully get on the board earlier for them, Not earlier, but like early on in the draft, not too much later. But I was sort of hoping that Hopkins or Vasher would be there. Mcelroy is the only guy left out of that group. Harry Brock, Antoine Glover, Alton Ingram, Jerome Pruitt, Lawrence Minor, Oscar Pitts, Lawrence Pemberton. There's a lot of guys here. I feel like Ty Torrance might be a guy we have to go. He has to be in the consideration because I've been trying to get a receiver for how long now? He fits the mold. It's just his 40-yard dash is what's concerning to me. But we've seen that last year where guys weren't the fastest, but they were still having decent speed. Like, if he could at least have like 88 to 90 speed, I'd be okay with that. He's 6'4". And I don't think he was supposed to be down. He was the number 1 receiver at one point. But then there's Perry Brock sitting here. And I know Perry Brock was supposed to be good. I know he had a story, didn't he? Let's go back up to the top here. He was one of the first stories, yeah. This is the guy who made Charles Davis's ankle sore. Ty Torrance is the guy who came down with a touchdown over 3 defenders. We have to take a chance. It's just, who do we think is still going to be here? I think we have a better shot of Mcelroy. But see, this is the thing. He's right. Dang. He's just sitting there waiting for somebody to take him. He's the next guy. But so is Torrance. And once we get past Torrance, there is nobody really left until the 3rd or 4th round with the size that I'm looking for. Derek Wilcox is somebody we could look at. You know what? I think we're going to have to roll the dice here. We have Jefferson, we have Thielen, we have Osborne, and Greer didn't get a lot of playing time last year. I think we can take a chance here. I think we have to secure the corner. Those guys went off the board super fast. Mcelroy is the last first-round option that's going to be on the board here. We don't know much about him, though. That's what I am concerned about. But I do know he's got press coverage. I know he's 21. And I know that this guy had an absolute killer combine. Size-wise, I would rather have Burrell, but I think that there's a reason that McElroy's up here. And plus with that, see, with him being a first-round grade and with him having that combine, I just feel that it's absolutely necessary to take him and assume that he's going to be better than one of these guys on the lower end. And if he is, let's say he's a 72, 73, but again, as long as he's a 60, 69 or above, I'd be happy with a young corner. Let's do it. Let's take McElroy here. McElroy. I don't know how to say his name. We're going to call him McElroy. Connor McElroy. We're going to take him. Okay, so he's normal, but wow, that's a lot of speed. That is a lot of speed. 95 speed, 94 acceleration, 90 change of direction. I hope I didn't just make a big mistake. He's got 8 hit power. I really want to know what that means for a corner. So we get our corner, which, I mean, hopefully, like I said, I just hope he's not a 65. Okay, and we have pick 7. Let's hope that somebody falls to us that we want. Quincy Milner goes, oh boy, here we go. This is where all the linemen that I was looking at are going to go, right? And there goes Ty Torrance. Well, I mean, let's be honest. After I decided to take McElroy, I sort of knew that we weren't going to get Torrance. But for having to go to the Bears, I hope he's normal dev. And the Eagles, they take another D tackle. What is this? Why does everybody want to take the position I want? And there goes McLaughlin, another wide receiver. We have another pick in 3. We have a pick now, 2 more other teams, and then a pick again. So let's see. Who is available? Why is Lindsey Nance falling? Wasn't he listed above all these guys from the last time? He was the first D tackle listed. Perry Brock is still here. So is Antoine Glover. I thought Nance was listed as the best D tackle left when we up last at the back into the first. He's 23. We don't know any of his main things. He didn't have a bad combine. Decent, good, great, good. Okay. C awareness, A play rec. C impact block though. Okay. What about Jerry Cannon? He's 21. I think he fits more of our 3 technique than elite, solid, good, elite, great, great. I think he had a little bit better of a combine than Nance did. Oh, look at all those B's and the A. And then I have Devontae Coleman checked here. He's 22. C power move. Great, solid, good, elite, great, solid. So he had a couple of nice top 5s, but I would say that Cannon overall might have had a better combine. I feel like though we need to get a running back at this point. I mean, we got a corner. We already lost on the receivers that we were going to get. I don't want to take Judge this early, but there are still some good running backs left. Perry Brock, Antoine Glover, combines. I haven't really been doing much research on these guys because up until 20 minutes ago, I didn't even want to trade. I didn't plan on trading. So he has good speed, great acceleration though. Elite change of direction. I like that. Glover. Okay, so he has A ball carrier vision. Elite change of direction, elite acceleration. Only good speed though. What does that mean? He had second in the 40-yard dash. Alton Ingram. He only has C carrying. I really don't like that. I feel like we should just take Perry Brock. Perry Brock or Glover. Okay, he's 21. 5'10", 212. Like the size. Great, good, elite, great, good, solid. Second and 3 cone and 20-yard. 5th and 40. And then Glover's got the A ball carrier vision. Second, 3rd, 5th. D injury? Oh man, I don't know what that means, but I feel like we got rid of somebody over that. We don't have that. Catching traffic as an A and short route as an A? Oh, that's different. So this guy's almost like not just elusive, but he can catch it out of the backfield. He's more of a 3rd down back, which really could come in handy with Madison, because Madison's not a pass catcher. Dalvin Cook was a pass catcher. I like the size these two guys have better than Ingram. And Ingram's 40 was slower, but I really like his catching ability. Just for curiosity's sake. I do like the option of getting another 5th this year. Let's do this one though. We move down 1 pick, right, to Buffalo. We pick up a 5th next year. Okay, so we're going to pick up a 5th next year, and we're going to slide down 1 spot. The Bills take Jared Young, so they didn't take any of those guys. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little caught off guard that nobody's taken Nance. So I'm down to Cannon and Coleman right now for the guys that I would like to have. One of those two. I hearted them for a reason. I'm not even sure when I hearted them, but I think it's just because they're on the smaller side. You know, Coleman being 6'5" and only 300, and then Cannon being under 300. I feel like they're probably going to be more like a power rush type of player than they are just a run stopper. I thought Nance was that as well, but now seeing that nobody wants to touch him, and they were taking guys listed after him, if I'm not mistaken, it just has me a little uneasy. It looks like a good pick, but now, you know, seeing that, I'm a little concerned. I've decided between these two guys, okay? I know Perry Brock is probably going to be good. They're both very good running backs. But we just traded away Dalvin Cook because of his injury situation. And now we're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that Perry Brock has D injury. I don't know what that means. It could mean nothing. I don't know. Something about that injury just got me scared. We're going to take Antoine Glover with this pick in the 2nd round. Here it goes. Okay, and we get hidden dev. Okay, he's got 92 speed, 94 acceleration, 91 change of direction, 88 agility. Oh man, I'm liking this guy already. I'm going to be desperately looking to see what Brock's is after this as well. We are definitely going to go over that. Okay, let's go ahead and let's skip ahead to the next pick. And there goes Perry Brock. The Bengals took the other one. We're on the clock again. And there's literally everybody that we were already going to pick is still sitting here. This is going to be an amazing draft class, I think. We already have 2 hidden devs. Oh, we could trade down 1 with the Chiefs for a 5th and a 7th this year. I think we have to take that. Yeah. Yeah, let's take that. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. They take Justin Gardner, safety. I'd like to trade a couple picks back and pick up a pick for next year. No, let's take the Panthers. Let's minimize how many people are in front of us. And now we're sitting here on the board again at pick 45. Can we trade down again? I could trade down 5 and I could get Seattle's 4th next year and a 7th this year, which really wouldn't be too bad of a fallback. It's 5 picks. Or we could do this one and be 4 picks. We still get the 4th next year for the Rams. I think we should do that. Let's do that. Rob Cooper goes. Oh, Alton Ingram goes. There's the other running back that we were looking at. Cliff Stovall. And Jamie Edwards. We're back to 17. We started at like 7. Let's take a look at the roster here quick. So we brought in a quarterback. We brought in a running back. We brought in a corner. I mean, I don't know where they're going to fall on this overall wise, but we know the corner. No, not the corner. The running back and the quarterback are both hidden dev, so we're going to be good there. I could go receiver here, but I just don't know if there's guys available. Daryl Ramsey is still here. He's on my favorites list. That's why he's got zone coverage as a B. We'll take AJ Alexander. I've been toying around with these D tackles, but looking now, linebacker is almost a bigger need for us right now. So let's go ahead. We're going to take AJ Alexander here. Draft him. He is hidden dev too. We are on a roll right now. 85 speed, 90 acceleration. So far, we at least have 3 hidden devs. To me, that's already a win. I don't even care what their overalls are. Okay, we're gonna slow roll this one because if need be, I want to jump up and possibly snag somebody. There goes Pruitt to the Browns. Oh, there goes Judge. Hunter. There goes Jerry. Oh, there goes Cannon. See, people are avoiding Nance. I was sort of hoping that Cannon and what's his face would fall just a little bit farther. We're almost to our pick 10. We're what, 15 away, 17 away? Let's take a look here. Nance is something's wrong with him. Everybody's ignoring him, and now Devontae Coleman is the next one up. I say we make a move for Coleman. We still have Ramsey. We can get him 3rd, 4th round. I could probably get him in the back end of the 3rd. There's Von Burney too. It's the guy I was told to draft. Why do I have there's a sneaky suspicion to draft that guy? And now with Harrison Smith, we almost do need a safety. Let's try to trade up again. The Dolphins. The Dolphins, Titans, and Saints are who are up next. They need a DT too. Son of a biscuit. Okay, so what if I traded our next 3rd? Let's try to trade Troy Dye. Can we do this? Oh, it's so close. Oh my gosh. Can we add in a 7th? We can. We just traded up. Okay. Let's go and secure our D tackle spot. All I know is I'm not taking Nance. We're going to take Coleman. Nick Tompkins was the guy I was going to as my fallback plan. But we got our linebacker with Alexander. We got our corner. Well, we had to settle for our corner, Mcelroy, but I mean, I knew I wasn't going to get Stevens. You know, it is what it is. You're not always going to get all the top guys. It's just not possible. Devontae Coleman is the guy out of Louisville. Are you kidding me? I did not just get another hidden dev. This is insane. Oh my God. What kind of draft is this? Is everybody hidden dev? I just wonder what these overalls are. Are we going to get a bunch of 68 stars? You know, like, yeah, it's good that we have a hidden dev, but it could be nothing worth writing home about. And there goes Gerrard, very next pick to the Titans. We'll have to check on him. And there goes Von Burney, the safety. Oh, there goes Will Robinson. Safeties are starting to fly off the board now. And there goes Lindsey Nance finally to the Bears. It's going to be curious to see why he fell so much and if he's actually good. There goes Oscar McCann. Dang it. There goes James Kemp. There goes Devon Murphy. Oh, there goes Ramsey. I thought he'd last until our pick. That was the linebacker that had the B zone coverage. Oh well. And there goes Jimmy Marshall, the safety. And then John Hairston, the safety. So pretty much all the safeties are going. There goes Nick Johnson. And that's going to leave us. I think the last person left on like my who I really want list is Derek Wilcox. So we're going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to take Derek Wilcox here. His deep route is F, but I've been eyeing this guy up since like the first week of scouting for some reason. It's about time we find out why. Maybe I was wrong, but Wilcox it is. Okay, so normal dev. It's about time we got a normal dev, but he has good speed. 89 speed, 88 excel, 90 change of direction and agility. I like that. 87 jump. Not bad at all. Okay. I don't really know if we need anybody else out of this draft. We've had a really good draft. Jason Reddick is left, the 6'3 guy. I liked him. Anytime you get a 6'3 corner, I'm looking at him. And he had a 4.46. Okay, we're going to take Jason Reddick. No question. Normal dev. Okay. I'm fine with that. 91 speed, 93 acceleration. That is an awesome pick at this point in the draft. I like it. I think we should try getting some picks for next year now. Let's just trade this for a fourth next year. Such an amazing turnout for some of our picks. I mean, my gosh, I don't remember the last time I've had this many hidden devs in a single draft. It's gonna be really curious to see, you know, where some of these other guys went and if all of them, like if we were just really lucky with who we picked or if just everybody had a hidden dev. We'll sim to the end. Actually, yeah, we'll trade away now. We'll take those fifths. I don't care. We'll have all the fifths. All right, we'll take the Broncos 6th and 7th. Take the Bengals 6th next year. I'm not even going to try. We're going to, I'll just sim it. Okay. Let's take a look and see what we got now for thing. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm a little nervous about this. All right, but without further ado, let's see what we reeled in this year. Taylor Hopkins is a 77. Mcelroy is a 78. And Glover is a 78. 96 throw. 83, 82, 80. He's got 80s in all accuracies. 78 awareness. That's awesome to start with. 74 throw on the run. Not the best, but we can work with that. His carrying is trash, but I don't need him to carry the ball. Connor McElroy. That's why he had no face. He's got the face you can't choose, huh? His zone, holy cow, is his zone horrible. But we can work with that. Play rec is 74 coming in. What a draft. Antoine Glover, 78. 92, 94, 88, 88 carrying. Juke move is an 84. Injury is 99. This is amazing. AJ Alexander, he's a 71. I mean, he's not a high overall, but... Oh, his pass coverage is fine. His speed rusher is just his highest one. But that doesn't make him... Okay. Zone is 64. It is what it is. Look at the injury ratings, though. We have a lot of great injury ratings out of these guys. AJ Alexander. Devontae Coleman. Let's see here. Okay, so he's hidden dev, but he's only, what is he, 60, 68. Okay, hey, it happens. You know? We got a hidden dev, though. He has time to develop. His block shedding needs some work. But he is the type of guy that I wanted as our for D tackle. I can definitely work with this guy. Derek Wilcox, normal dev, but he's a 68. That's fine. 89 speed, 88 acceleration, 89 catching, 79 catching traffic, 82 release. That's a good starting spot for him. I'm really liking. Jason Reddick ends up being a 69 too. This was in a tremendous draft class for us. And then this must be the guy that was auto-picked, Kenny Pleasant. Just another guy I had pegged on my board because of his size, and he definitely needs some work. This has been such a long draft and a long offseason, but so worth it. We had so much stuff go our way between free agency, drafting. We got to take a look at some of these other guys, though. Mcelroy ends up being a 75, so we get the better of the two top quarterbacks. He ends up being hidden dev as well. Gilbert ends up only being a 71 hidden dev. Yep, he's hidden dev as well. Dwayne Burke, 75. He's hidden dev. Roland Abbott, what about him? He's hidden dev. He's only a 70, that left tackle. J.R. Brown, he's hidden dev. Everybody's hidden dev. Okay, so maybe it wasn't that crazy we were landing hidden devs. It was just a lot of them out there. Alfonso Stevens was only a 72? Okay, he's hidden dev. Why was he so low, though? I really thought this guy was going to be like an 80 overall like Sheffield was last year. Sergio Romero ended up being a 77. The Bengals are going to have a stacked wide receiver room. Timmy Henley, this was our pick. He ends up being a 74. Nice pick for them. Terrell Slay, normal. First normal I think we've seen, but he's a 75. Dylan Winslow, D tackle. He ends up being a hidden dev 77. Wow. Delroy Cobbs, hidden dev 71. DeAndre Brooks, normal, was 72. Nate Mack, hidden dev. James Ferguson, he was normal. He was the guy I was really hoping to get. 6'3". I was instantly drawn to him. But he ends up being normal. Caleb Byron, he's hidden dev as well. Wow, there's going to be a lot of good young quarterbacks. Jamarcus Means, he was hidden dev. Okay, 6'3", 200 pounds, 90 speed. Ian Tucker, 75, he's hidden dev. So literally almost everybody in the first round was hidden dev, except Chris Rose. Carl Hopkins, the other corner I was looking at, he's hidden dev. Everybody is a hidden dev. Emmanuel Baggs, hidden dev. Jonathan Foster, the tight end, he's normal. Ruben Thomas, he's hidden dev. He's only a 74. Wow, I expect him to be a little bit more than that. Hunter Patton, hidden dev. I'm not even sure why I'm still saying it. They're all hidden devs. Connor Johnston, nope. And here was our pick for Connor Mcelroy. Quincy Miller, this was a guy I was looking at for a potential D tackle, and look at that. This is 6'3", 320. Now the reason I'm okay with the 320 on the D end is because they're built different. They're built like an end, right? Like with their attributes. So you have to be careful with the D tackles when you're looking for them, because if you want a guy who's more of a pass rush role, you have to look for the guys who are usually on the smaller side, like they don't weigh as much at D tackle, and then you'll sometimes be able to find those guys that are, you know, more of a power rusher. Joel Burrell was a 78. Normal dev, but 78 to start. Wow. Ty Torrance was a 76. He's normal, but man, I'm jealous. I'm super jealous. Paul Dugans, the other D tackle, he was a 76. So we missed out on the D tackles. The guys that we were hoping to be able to fall to us at the top of the second ended up not falling. We still got a decent player, though, so I'm not going to complain too much. McClellan, he was hidden dev. Of course he was. Perry Brock, he was picked right after us. He was 1 overall better. Are you kidding me? Normal dev, though. What was his injury? 87. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. I'm happy with our choices here. I think we got really good players. Justin Gardner was a 77? Don't tell me I missed on a bunch of good safeties, too. Nick Foster. Where was the safety I was supposed to take? He was hidden dev and a 73. Do I actually have to start listening to my GM when he tells me to draft a player? There was another guy, Will Robinson, I was looking at. He was normal, but 72. That's good overall for third round. Normal 69. All of that falling for nothing. Devon Murphy, 72, 71, but normal. Daryl Ramsey. He was hidden dev. Dang it. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Jimmy Marshall and Harrison. Both of these guys were good. And they were a hidden dev? Well, at least Marshall was. Wow. Yep, they both were. We missed on all the safeties. Okay. Well, I think that's been a long enough offseason for you. I have so many videos, and I know that when you guys see this, it's going to be one video, but I have been recording on and off all day in between things to get this offseason done today so we can head into the regular season. I am not looking forward to the amount of editing I'm going to have to do for this, but I think it was worth it. We had a really, really awesome offseason. We really changed the dynamic of this team. We have a new quarterback. We're having a new running back. We brought in some new linemen. We have a revamped defense. I think this is going to be a big year for us. So I appreciate you guys watching. I really hope that you guys are enjoying this. And I know that all these videos are like an hour long, and it's not the best to have to sit through it all. But I appreciate any time you guys do watch. And yeah, man, can't wait for the next video. We'll get to see what these guys look like in preseason. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Drop me a like if you will. And I'll see you next time.